When will new heroes be added to Deadlock, and when is the next patch coming up? Those are two questions that have been burning in my mind for a long time, and I'm sure have been burning in a lot of people's minds. So I want to talk about today what I think could be on the next patch, just kind of formulating some thoughts of my own, looking at some rumors around the community, and in doing so, preview the 4 Hero Labs characters that are currently in the game because, spoiler alert, I think those may be what is coming in this first iteration. Hey everyone, this is Connor here at Dead Unlocked, and like I said, I just kind of want to get into looking at these 4 heroes today, talking through what they do. I'm going to show each of their abilities off, in case you haven't played Hero Labs in a while, or you just aren't familiar with what the heroes do at all. I want to be able to talk about each one in depth and kind of show off what each does in the Hero Lab area. So first off, we've got Fathom here. Little background about Fathom as well. I'll leave that on screen. You can screenshot it or pause in case you want to read about Fathom's lore. But yeah, we've got Fathom here. So he's got 4 abilities. One is called Scalding Spray. Spray scalding water in a cone ahead of you. You build up bonus weapon damage as the spray damages an enemy hero. So just kind of a continual spray. Breach, launch forward, damaging all enemies near where you land and knocking them up into the air. Reef Dweller Harpoon. Throw a harpoon that latches onto a wall or ceiling, pulls you in. This activates Lurker's Ambush Invisibility while being pulled in. Once hanging attached to the harpoon surface, gain additional charges. That one's a mouthful. We'll kind of get into it in a second. Then Lurker's Advantage, which is his ultimate, which is actually a passive. While out of combat and not seen by enemies, heal a portion of your max HP every second. If you stand still, you also become invisible. This is kind of reminiscent of like Teemo in League of Legends. So long as you stay still or crouched and don't perform any actions while completely invisible, you are invulnerable. Hold forward to charge up a mouthful of sticky spit that damages and slows enemies. Damage and slow duration increase the longer you hold the spit. Duration is halved if you are not latched to a wall. So that's kind of what he does. Like it says here, short-ranged assassin. Fathom can slip in and out with combat and win engagements. So let's kind of look at what this looks like. So here's Fathom. Got his little model going. Looks cool. So we're going to walk through each ability here and kind of talk about what they do, maybe max charge, and go from there. So we will put a point in everything. Just kind of start it off. So that's the first thing. That is his Scalding Spray. It's what it looks like. We'll just take cooldowns away here. So that's Scalding Spray. Let's look at Breach. There he goes with Breach, leaping in. Yep. Then we have Reef Dweller Harpoon. Sticks on the wall. Look at him. There he is. Pretty cool. Hanging out on the wall. Really neat character, actually. Like this one, you know, I also don't know how to get off the wall. Okay, you just jump. All right. This one will be interesting to play purely because of that. And then his 4 is just a spit up where I think I need to be holding it down. Or max damage. I'm missing, though. Not sure on damage on that one. So you can't actually harpoon people. You have to harpoon the wall. Let's see if I know any more about what this does. So, yeah, damages and slows enemies, I think would be what this would do. I'm not getting the invisibility. I'm noticing. I'm standing still. Make me invisible. Not sure. Either way, this is looking like what this character will do. So the way you're probably going to be playing this guy is you're going to be jumping in, doing a lot of burst damage, things like that. All right, our next hero up is Raven. Raven looks pretty cool. He's got an umbrella as a weapon. He's very dapper, dressed well. Does he have a background? He does. So he's got some lore there you can check out if you'd like. Catherine the Great. Interesting. I need to do a lore deep dive in this game at some point. But anyway, Blindside is his first ability. Active, throw a concussion grenade that reduces enemies' turn rate. Interesting. Passive, deal bonus damage with your gun and melee attacks when hitting an enemy in the back. Okay, that explains why. So you're going to be sneaking up. Okay, impeding movement. Umbrella maneuver. Use your umbrella to catch a gust of wind that lifts you backwards. You then charge up with your umbrella to fire a projectile that explodes on impact. A little bit of a movement tech ability here. Looks pretty fun. 100 flat damage. Pretty fun. And we already can see that this is pretty rough because we have it not yet implemented on the max. So all of this, by the way, is with a large grain of salt. We don't know if these are going to come to the game finalized like this, but I just have a feeling, at least the general idea of what these heroes do is going to be coming to the game. Full auto, classic, same thing as Wraith, temporary boost your fire rate. This is one that I could see being pretty significantly changed right away, just because it's already an ability. And then Revelation, this is probably this is maybe my favorite of any ability that they've looked to add so far. Activate your Relic. Enemy heroes nearby have slowed movement and dashes and receive damage over time when looking towards you. If enemies look at you long enough, they are cursed. So I could see a really fun play if you reduce their movement, their turn speed specifically, and then you just look at them. You're just looking at them. Pretty cool. So Raven. By impeding enemy movement and punishing those who look his direction, Raven creates opportunity to stab his enemies in the back. Hence, Backstabber existing as an item, which makes sense. So here's what the Raven looks like. He's a little bit bigger of a character model, I would say, overall. It's pretty cool looking, though. He already looks pretty clean compared to some other ones, I feel. I feel like he's got to be pretty close to finalized. Like, he looks like a good model. Got, like, a hand tattoo. Pretty cool little details here. Looking dapper. So let's look at what he does. So this is his blind side.
They're vulnerable.
There it is. Enjoy your slowed turn right there, dummy. We then have Umbrella Maneuver. So we shoot up. And then we shoot a little thing, I guess, at the end of it once it expires. Yeah. Let's take off cooldown. Try that again. So I could see a fun synergy where you do that. That. Maybe in some combination. Full auto is just going to be full auto. Exactly what you'd expect. But let's look at Revelation here. This is that Relic, so we're going to activate a Relic and then curse enemy if they look at us long enough.
Steer at your destiny.
That is so interesting looking. I think this would be a really, really fun mechanic to have in the game if they keep that ability somewhat in the same vein of what it is now. That just looks like it would be wacky to do. I mean, I don't know how much damage it's necessarily supposed to do. It looks like it's going to do 50 a second flat right now. Which I feel like isn't too oppressive, but this is like a debuff character. I mean, you're playing this to negatively affect the enemy team and be annoying. So yeah, this is Raven. Looks honestly really fun. The Umbrella Maneuver is super cool. I mean, that is a really fun one to play around with. I can see some stamina getting pretty crazy with that, honestly. I don't even know. You can't use abilities when you're using it, but you know, there's a lot of fun I think you can do with this character right away. Really looking forward to Raven. Alright, next up is Trapper. This is one that I've actually played in a Hero Labs game. I think he's really fun, super interesting. This was a long time ago, months ago when these were first added. Let's look at his background. Very simple there if you want to read it. Let's look at his abilities. So, Trapper has Bottled Phantasmicide. Throw a jar that leaves a spreading toxic pool, so classic AoE grenade. Enemies caught in the pool are slowed and silenced, though. Pretty strong right away. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Silk Trap. Cool abilities, by the way. Really neat with like the spider theming here. Create a thread of web between two surfaces, kind of like a little like a zip line or something, like a tripwire more than a zip line. Enemies who touch the web take damage over time, become slowed, and are revealed. Pest Barrier. Apply a combat barrier to a target, ally, and periodically deal spirit damage and slow. Interesting. I wonder if that's dealing damage to the ally. That would be kind of wild. Would make sense. Then Crawling Plague. Release a wave of spectral spiders that chase enemies and explode, dealing spirit damage. Hit enemies are poisoned, temporarily losing spirit and spirit resist. The effect can stack multiple times, assuming you're either hit by multiple spiders or maybe use Refresher on this, right? So this one looks super cool. The Trapper can infest the battlefield with their haunted spiders, leaving latent curses in key areas. If you let the Trapper have their way, you won't be able to navigate the map without springing some sort of trap. I can see this hero, especially maybe once some jungle changes are made and like there's more jungle roaming, these tripwires being really annoying. A couple things right away. His crosshair standard is crazy looking. That's kind of like Pocket's gun. Maybe it is exactly. I don't play a lot of Pocket, but Wild Gun. Yeah, looks like Pocket's gun. So let's look at these abilities here. Start off with the Phantasmicide here. There it is. Poisoning. So not doing any damage, actually. That makes sense why it silences that. So no base damage, really. Just slow and silence. Okay, cool. So then we have our little, our trap here. Silk Trap. Just gonna see how far it would go. So if I do like this, decent. Okay, can I have multiple up at the same time? I'm just gonna freak out. Let's see. Can. And that's what it looks like it does. Some decent ticking damage right away. It's fast too. Like that was a fast proc. I mean, you could kind of lay this down quickly in a fight and proc it. Interesting. All right, now we'll try this shield on an ally here. This is a pest barrier. Okay, so pest barrier is not going to do damage to him. I was like, that would be insanely dumb. It's like a little mini scourge though, giving him a little AOE circle to deal damage in. Makes sense. Send an ally in. And then the crawling plague. Let's look here. Let's look at what the spiders look like. There's the spiders. 140 flat, and they keep going for a while. Still crawling around. Okay, that hits. They're still going. I don't know when they stop. There they're going. See you, buddy. Alright, he's gonna go do some gamba. Yeah, I don't know if it says how long... Okay, 25-second lifetime. So that's actually pretty long. I mean, with some duration and stuff, you could have spiders running around for a long time. So yeah, I mean, as the description says, that I could really see Trapper being one kind of like McGinnis. You play a lot solo lane. You can just deny area really well. But you have to kind of be putting your resources down and be thinking about where you're at in the map in relation to your abilities and all that. But I think this character could be great day one. Also, just a cool design. Not sure what exactly he's holding in his little crate here. Can't really tell. But it's a menace, whatever it is. So that's Trapper. All right, our final hero up here on the Hero Labs. What we think is, I would say, a decent chance these heroes come to the live game in the next patch, is Wrecker. So let's take a look at Wrecker's lore here. There it is. Wow. A Fate's Tale. That's some decent lore there for Wrecker. I'm actually covering up a little bit of it with my camera. Move that out of the way so people can read the lore. But yeah, this is what we've got here. So Wrecker salvages scrap to create weapons. So we've got a Wrecking Ball. Create a large ball of scrap, damaging and stunning the first enemy hit. Okay. I've also played with this one way back in Hero Labs when it was first added to the game. It's been a long time though. Consume. Latches onto an enemy, damaging them, and healing yourself will attach. So, Lady Guy's Siphon here. Targets must be in line of sight, and within max range to stay latched. A successful kill also restores a Bioblast charge, which I think we're going to get to here. Bioblast, shoot out a blast of consumed remains, damaging and slowing enemies. Multiple hits increase slow. Fairly straightforward. And then Overload, create an area that slows nearby enemies and damages them after a channel. Damage scales with total channel time. Okay. So salvaging and scrapping for parts, Wrecker can disassemble troopers, crush foes with his Wrecking Ball, and capture all enemies in his stasis trap. So, which I don't see stasis trap on here, unless I just missed something. So maybe that's an ability that's getting added back in, or was previously added, they took out, not exactly sure. But yeah, I do remember back when I was playing this character a little bit in labs, that you could consume troopers with, I think it was, yeah, just this right here. But let's look. So let's do Wrecking Ball first. Wrecking Ball forming, and you just literally throw a ball. Take off cooldowns, show that one off again. I don't think it rolls. I think you just toss it. Yeah, so it's just a throw. It's kind of like a projectile blast grenade. All right, let's look at Consume. So yeah, you can get the 2 additional targets whenever you get to max, which is pretty cool. So it's just consuming. Pretty good range. I guess this is max range. It's not bad. And I think, let me just quickly test if I do this to a trooper, what happens. Okay, so I would need to kill it to get the Bioblast charge. So like that would get it. That's what Bioblast looks like. Consume. So I think these abilities will be used in lane quite a bit. We'll hop back over here though. So Bioblast shoots a blast of consumed remains, damaging and slowing enemies. So pretty simple, just a close range, big AOE, kind of push out. This is like there's a lot of characters that have abilities similar to this. This is like a Moe and Krill ability, it feels like, you know. And then we have Overload. Create an area that slows nearby enemies and damages them after a channel. Let's see. We're going to channel. And boom. 376 instantly. Let's kind of look at how big that would be. decent size, but you can cancel at any time. So that was 316. I canceled a little early. Instant cancel, just a quick 112. This is very similar to Pocket, the way he uses like his briefcase basically to do like those quick hits, you know, those combo moves. I can easily see there being some kind of, you know, burst combo with this character where you do all that in a sequence, right? So that is Wrecker. Super interesting looking character. I really like the art style in this one. I don't know that it's as finished as the others, maybe, but really, really cool looking. I hope they continue on with the designs like this. So that is basically going to do it for these 4 heroes that I think have a pretty good chance of coming to Deadlock in the next patch. I had previously thought that maybe they would add a lot of the rumored heroes, at least to the game. I'm honestly not sure. There's really nothing to make me not feel that way. There's been no like news or indication that's not the case either. But we are in mid-July, so that part of me that like was expecting it around this time is a little bit uneasy. Like maybe we'll just get these for a little bit, and then they'll add the other ones maybe as experimental heroes. I'm not exactly sure what the devs want to do. They've clearly been working on them in the test server, but it's just always hard to know when that's going to come to this primary server, what that's going to look like, and honestly, it's hard to know the pace at which they're trying to progress this game right now. But at the very least, I would hope we get these 4 heroes in the next patch. If we don't, womp womp. This is speculation a little bit at the end of the day. But if we do, and they aren't completely overhauled, hopefully this video at least gives you some, somewhat of a sense of what to expect from this coming patch, as well as I would guess probably some more map and other kind of game state changes. But that is going to do it here at Dead Unlocked. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Looking forward to the patch, just like I'm sure all of you are. And from our house to yours, we'll see y'all for the next one.